So let's get started for today. Thank you everyone for joining me on the stream. I really appreciate everybody joining for stream hours. It just creates a more lively experience for the class. It's just more discussion, questions, writing back, all of that stuff. And I truly believe it helps you retain information faster. But before I get started, I have some announcements for you. The Community Design Challenge is going to be due officially on Thursday, May 5th. Okay, so for those who are designing their floral humanoids, if you don't know what that is, for those who are designing, your due date is on the 5th. And for those who want to join, if you don't know what it is, go to Reddit. Then you can go to Reddit by going to Istebrak.com and clicking on the Reddit icon right here. And it's pinned at the top, the second pin at the top. And if you click on it, read through it. The winner gets to sit with me in a critique hour live on mic with me in front of everyone, and the video goes up on YouTube. They get a copy of Portrait Studio. They get, possibly if time allows, because my summer curriculum is quite packed, but I may take a month off from everything after the release of the masterclass just for a sabbatical. I may just do some light work in that period of time, and the winner may win a portfolio review session with me. So that's a big incentive. If you are looking for a quick rundown on what you should be improving on in your portfolio, what you'd like fixed, and what you don't know to fix about your portfolio, fundamentals you feel like you're suffering from, but you're not quite sure what they are. You want a second opinion about some of the more successful pieces you have, what to study, curriculum choice. Portfolio reviews can be anything you want. And those are just some of the questions I've had in the past portfolio reviews with people. And a portfolio review hour is around $80 US after taxes. So it's then plus Portrait Studio and plus my brush sets, which may be part of the rewards. So this isn't just a challenge, it's a contest. And it's for people who are looking for that extra push for their portfolio, just so that they have something to work from, to share. They're not sure which narratives to follow in their portfolio. They don't really have ideas to add to create illustrations and make their portfolio more interesting. This is what challenges like these are all about. They've been around as long as the community has been. I will always try my best to host them. If you are benefiting from the community and you'd like to give back, you don't even have to give back a lot. All you have to do is give back $1 a month, and that's a lot for me, because if everybody joins, then we're just set. We're fine. So I know you may think that, okay, the next person will join for $1 and support, but this community has been around for like 10 years, and a lot of people have benefited from it. A lot of people who are artists today are stronger artists because of it. And I've never asked for any kind of payment. There's never been a paywall to access my YouTube channel, which is like an endless fountain of knowledge for anyone who needs it about art. And if you want to give back, if you've used this channel before, if you've used this community, if you've improved, it's just $12 a year. And the reason why I keep it so low is because it's an untraceable amount. But if everybody joins, it's a massive amount. So please do try to join. If you're watching today, it's just Patreon. You go and just pledge for $1, and you get all of the Critique Hour full videos for free, basically after the $1. I've been posting 30-minute videos or 20-minute videos of the full hour streams, but I still upload the full hour. I just only give it to patrons of $1 or more. So please do join. Please consider it. It's a pro bono community, and that's all I'm asking from the community. It's just $1 a month from everyone, just so that there's still something coming back to the community. It's not just always one direction. It's something that also gets something back after all these years. And then there is the vote for. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I just have to navigate to it really quickly. If you go to my YouTube channel and go to the community tab on my channel, and click at the, so it's just the community tab right here, and scroll down, you could please help me decide on the price for my upcoming masterclass. The masterclass is going to be a portraiture masterclass sold on Gumroad. I've decided it's going to be Gumroad. And I'd love to hear what you guys think the price should be. So it's a full portrait tutorial at 2.5 hours, an hour and a half of how to transfer from grayscale to color, which I believe is the more popular one because people want to paint comfortably in grayscale and know what to do after that. But it's also really friendly for those who want to swatch their colors and paint from raw color. There's going to be a 5,000, a 6,000 word, actually it's a minimum 6,000 word notes written by me of the definitions and the terms and the whole glossary, the whole index of what it means to learn about anything portraiture related under me. There's going to be that entire knowledge in written form for anyone who's a list lover, for anyone who works better with lists. It's going to be added to the pack. There's going to be every brush you need to use to follow along. Some templates, some additional stuff I'll add as I go. Possibly an update later on that's going to be male to female, female to male, how to basically draw a male version of that same portrait. It's just going to keep growing. So if you guys know what kind of price you'd pay for something like that, I know that all of these prices are way lower than what it's actually worth because an hour session with me is like 70 to 80. So it's already a fraction of what it's going to be. But I'm just being realistic here, trying to find a price that's fair for me, fair for you. So if you can, please go to my community tab or go to Twitter. I've also posted the poll on Twitter. I don't think the poll on Twitter it has a time limit. I don't think this one has a time limit. But please go and vote and let me know what you guys think for that. And then for Patreon, one last assignment. For those who are curious about announcement. For those who are curious about my latest Patreon rewards. So if you do want to join as a patron for $20, this painting that I recently painted, this entire PSD is going to be available to you. The video time lapse is going to be available for $20 a month. Assignments, access to the Patreon Discord, which is another form of classes. I know, how do I run all this stuff? I really don't know. I'm just in over my head here. I have fun. I love teaching. So if you guys want to have something like private tutoring, but much more affordable than private tutoring, and you get into assignments, you get critiques, and you get all these extra rewards, and you get all of the videos that I post, the full-length streams. Join as a patron if you'd like, if you want this video time lapse, this whole PSD, the brushes I used for it, all of that is also available. So let's get started on today's class. I am sorry about all the announcements. So today's class is going to be about lighting, and I'm going to use Portrait Studio to help me because there's really no better way to teach it other than to just show what happens to lights when you're moving them around like that. So let me just get the chat up, as I can't seem to find the chat. Where is the chat? Okay, there it is. Going to get my credit card right now. Damn, 10 years. Yes, I've been teaching for over 10 years. I've been uploading videos. My very first video, I believe, is no, because I used to upload on livestream and they deleted all my videos. I think my very first YouTube video is 2012, 2013. But I was teaching way before that. But anyway, let's talk about this guy. Okay, so very boring, very, very boring light. Everything that we are seeing has been customized and conveniently placed so that we can see it. So the light is climbing towards the camera. Let me show you why it's boring. So when I say boring, this is what I mean. Everything is visible. So the dark side of his face is on the opposite side. It's where we can't see, which makes it, again, very convenient. Okay, well, we don't care about this far side. We see less of it. So let's reduce the light on it. That makes sense, right? And then the camera is wherever the camera is positioned, so slightly shorter than him, the light is climbing towards that general area. And everything is visible. And the background is overly detailed with that texture splash you added, but also just dark and out of the way. It's a portrait, so nothing is happening. And I'm a portrait artist, so I'm not saying portraits are boring, but portraits don't tell the full story. And so you're working with the least exciting of the mediums of the way to deliver your paintings, which is portraits. It's not that exciting. If you're a portrait artist like me who's obsessed with human faces, it's very exciting. I love portraits, but for a portfolio, trying to get hired, trying to make book covers, it's not that exciting. How do we make it more exciting? So I opened up Portrait Studio. Portrait Studio is a reference generation software that you can use to build references. You control light, model, camera angle, everything. And it's available on my store if you want it, istebrak.com. So what's happening here? Why does he look sexy here? What's this new sexy lighting that we're looking at? So I moved the camera so that we're shorter than him. And these controls are really nice because you can just control everything you want here instead of moving the camera. And then you can move the, you can pan the whole scene or you can zoom in. What I did a number of things. I darkened the background by going to the menu on the right and changing the background color. I turned off the direction, I turned on the directional light, but I reduced its strength. So I kept it low. That way we can darken the scene. And I added a point light behind his face. All right, so it's illuminating the far side so that we're angling the camera enough that we're getting rim light. And I added a spotlight that allows some light to shine through, revealing his jawline, because without the spotlight, it can go back to being boring. And the spotlight has revealed some information. So this vampiric, demonic, 5,000-year-old sexy boy is now even more sexy because we see less of him. So mystery is what you're doing, is how you apply lighting. It's the atmosphere, it's the mood. So I haven't been talking much about lighting because I kind of have been doing a lot more portraits lately, but it's fun, always fun to talk about lighting because you can't talk about lighting without talking about movies. And I'm just going to darken him. And I'm going to darken using hue saturation. The difference between darkening with levels and darkening with hue saturation is that levels likes to create pools of black a lot faster, whereas hue saturation just darkens things as a whole, which is nice for when you want to create those blackouts. So the sale for Portrait Studio, there's no Portrait Studio for iPad. And the sale for Portrait Studio is going to go down soon. I only kept it on sale just for the duration of the pandemic, just because of everyone's financial, situation. But it will go back up as soon as I release my masterclass, which will be sometime in June. So there won't be a sale this year in summertime, I believe. So if you do want a copy of Portrait Studio, right now is the lowest it'll be this year, which is like $45. It's going back up to $60 to $70. Because it's a heavy machine and we worked a lot on it and we invested thousands of dollars into developing it, and so we want to keep the price respective to what we invested into developing it for you guys. And then think about now, while we're doing this, think about how it looked before. So everything was visible to the light, nothing was hidden, everything was accessible to the viewer, no mystery. You want to paint things and you want to make movies as if you are the actress, as if you are the protagonist. Just adding that light to the far part of the eye, which I may need to saturate now. I don't want to copy the reference exactly because I want to shift this piece to copy the reference's nose. And this is an example of how this artist could have benefited from using Portrait Studio early on. They could have posed it to be exactly how they wanted it. But it's okay, hindsight's 20/20. And then I'm just gonna keep going with that. And because I lassoed the edge, I'm gonna get blur tool and blur the edges of the face a little bit. Blur this area, just blur away some of the pixels of lasso. And I'm just going to saturate a little bit and shift things over into green and then come back, just so we can level things out. Actually, what am I doing? I'm going to keep things at purple, because purple and yellow are beautiful together. I like the complete blackout because it does more for the scene. I think it makes things feel a lot more mysterious, a lot more schmecksy, but also, like, look what happens when we turn all the lights off and just keep, and that's nice. And keep the background, the room light is the only light thing. I mean, that's pretty cool. But you can also do something like this, right? And I think that's also cool, especially if you're going to make his eyes light up. I think this looks super professional. I think it looks super mature. I think it looks super moody. I think it looks just the right amount that you want for a vampire dude. It just feels right. And that's kind of what I was envisioning right at the start of the critique, but you can see how I cautiously approach it. And when we kind of almost black him out, we get to see a little bit more of the background silhouette. So now he's like the production value of a character that I would definitely have a crush on. 100%. I 100% would have a crush on it if this wasn't a movie. And that's because of the mystery. That's because you're not putting the usual glamour ahead of what's actually important in a scene like this, which is the storytelling. So now he's got some rim light. We can see his face. We can pick up some of the detail. We can really blast into just complete whites for this background rim light. We can really push it. You don't have to stay safe with the rim light, but you do have to stay safe with what's surrounding, which is all this stuff, which in all honesty was just doing nothing. We were getting nothing out of this light side. We completely inverted the entire painting. I'm just going to encourage the jawline to feel a little bit more sculpted. All right. So he definitely has that allure of a vampire now, and he reads right. And this light right here, you could also lighten that up. You just get a bit of that bloom. And that's also extremely fun because now the ear is silhouetted. We don't have to worry too much. So one more thing I'm going to do is duplicate the layer, filter. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to do the other way of doing that, which is to just blur the far sides, just the back, filter, blur, gauge, and blur. So that far part of his ears, we just want to get that to be a little bit more blurred, because it's just too sharp for an area that's supposed to be in shadow. Okie dokie, guys. So any questions at all? Oops, deselect. I just want to raise the background value behind him a little bit. Don't even know what's going on. Huh. Oh, right. The tones at the back. Ugh, that's annoying. Okay, there we go. So you can let some of his head through just a little bit. All right. You can also leave it at that and leave it dark right around here. If you do that, you just have to clean up the tones out here where the light can't reach. Yes, art is all about acting. And then if you want to just push that wash a little bit further, I'm just going to put a plain purple here. Color wash does just abysmal. And I'm just going to throw a slight purple wash over everything and reduce its opacity so it mixes again. And then just really get that yellow out. It's just a little bit of a wash to help things along, just to add a different color.